Superheroes, like any other genre of fiction, come with certain expectations. The triumph of justice, the double life, the saving of innocent lives. Chances are at least one of these ideas crops up in every superhero story. Because of this, however, I find it incredibly important that a superhero finds something to help distinguish themselves from all the other heroes. Whether that come from their setting, characterization, tone, the way they go about delivering justice, or what they fight against. There are as many ways to create an iconic hero as there are heroes themselves. And that's why I find it so disheartening that my main man Oliver Queen gets such little respect. Someone ought to do something to change that. So yeah, Green Arrow is one of my favorite superheroes, easily in the top 5. And to explain why, I feel like the best place is to start his origin. And yeah, I know superhero origins are retold and retconned 100 different ways, but the core ideas are always there, so bear with me, okay? See, like a not unsurprising amount of superheroes, Oliver's parents were killed at a young age. But what stands out to me is his reaction to their death. He doesn't become vengeful or feel guilty, and his family's death doesn't teach him the lesson that will become the basis for his super heroics. And that's not a dig at any of these other heroes, okay? I'm not saying these other guys suck, just trying to highlight what makes Oliver different. And what exactly makes it different is that it's just this senseless tragedy, and it breaks him. Oliver grows up simply existing from day to day with no future. He just drinks, parties, and fucks his way through life because it's easier than thinking about what happened. It's only after his wasteful habits force him to face his own mortality that he finds what gives his soul meaning, and that's helping other people in whatever way he can. And that's one of the most interesting things about Green Arrow to me. Becoming a superhero was something he chose for himself. His motivations are intrinsically tied to his own desires, his soul that cries out with a need to protect and provide for the innocent. And this aspect of his origin makes Oliver an incredibly flexible character. You can interpret him 100 different ways because his heroism isn't bound by any strict principles. Sometimes he'll kill or use torture or be a vengeful soul, and sometimes he's a swashbuckling adventurer who quips as much as Spider-Man. You can jump into 2 different Green Arrow runs and end up with 2 very different interpretations of Oliver Queen. And while I obviously prefer him to be interpreted one way, I think it's awesome that creators can have such freedom when bringing his world to life. Like, Arrow is fine, and there actually is a very interesting story about redemption buried in there that I would kinda like to talk about, but the CW is so invested in turning Oliver into that universe's Batman that it kinda throws away a lot of Green Arrow's most interesting character traits in my opinion. Oliver being entirely self-motivated also allows us to really live with him. The best Green Arrow stories, in my opinion, are the ones that take on an almost biographical nature. We get to see him first as an innocent child, then a broken man who, after confronting his own mortality, came to find meaning in looking out for his fellow man. He fought injustice, saved the innocent, joined a team of gods, found love, and eventually, after feeling he's done all he can, happily retires with his wife. I find Green Arrow such an inspirational character because he's someone who used all his powers, skill, talent, and luck to forge his best possible life. One where, even after all the trials he's combated, he's able to look at himself with pride for all he's accomplished. I like to think that's something all of us want, and that's why I think you should go experience some Green Arrow stories.